Hello guys, this is yours Andrew and welcome to another story time with yours Andrew. Today I'll be telling you a story of how two young children made a reverend father and the security at the church run out for their life. So it all began on a Sunday morning when two boys, two best friends named Peter and Roman went to a church. They have never been to that church before. This was their first time. It was new. It was a new church. It was newly built, and before they built that church, there was an orange tree which they used to go and pluck orange from that tree before they built that church there. And they didn't cut down the tree. The tree was still in the premises of the church. So when they visited the church that Sunday morning after service, Roma went outside to diss himself at the back. So when he got there, he saw that that orange tree they used to go and climb and pluck orange from was still there. So he went inside and told Peter that he saw that orange tree they used to climb and pluck. So they were like, okay, after church in the evening or at night, they will come back and pluck oranges since they really needed to pluck those oranges. So they left the church and that afternoon. So when it was at night around 9 p.m., they came back with bags, two bags. Peter carried his own bag and Roma carried his own bag so that they can pluck in the orange and share it. So when they got into the church, they used the fence because there was a security at the gate. So they used the back gate, but they didn't even open the gate. They jumped the fence and entered the church from the back. So when they got in, they climbed the tree. It was Roma that climbed the tree while Peter was on the floor collecting the oranges. So when Peter blocks, he will throw it for when Roma blocks, he will throw it for Peter that was down. And then while they were doing this, they heard footsteps coming in from the front gate. They heard footsteps. So Peter told Roma to quickly jump down from the orange tree, and they did so. When they did so, they packed the oranges as quickly as they could into one bag. The one Peter was carrying, they packed all the oranges into the bag, and they ran towards the back. The security, the footsteps was coming from the front, so they ran towards the back. And at the back of the church, there was a cemetery. Yes, so they just built and put a small gate as an access road to the cemetery. There's a small gate and then there's a fence there. So they ran towards that end, and then they used the fence to jump into the cemetery. Just when they jumped into the cemetery, they just stood there behind. Then this footstep that was coming in was the footstep of the security personnel that was working in the church. So when he came in, he didn't notice anything, so he was just walking around at the back. And Roma and Peter, since they didn't feel it as a threat, they started sharing the oranges so that once they are done sharing it, they would just find a way to leave the church premises. Yeah, so Roma was the one sharing it, so he opened Peter's bag and then also opened it, and then he poured the oranges out. Meanwhile, while they were trying to jump inside that cemetery using the fence, two oranges fell outside, but the security personnel did not notice. He didn't see the two oranges that were outside, lying outside close to the fence. So Peter was sharing, Roma was sharing the orange. He would give Peter one and be like, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. So that is how he was sharing the oranges. So when the security came back to go back to his duty post, he heard voices saying one for you, one for me, one for you, one for you. So he was confused because nobody can be at the cemetery at that time. He rushed down to where the Reverend Father's office was because the Reverend Father is to sleep in the church. He doesn't go out. So he rushed down there, and then he told the Reverend Father that he heard voices at the cemetery that they were saying one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. That he thinks that it is God and Satan that are sharing in dead bodies. God and Satan are sharing people that died. So God is giving Satan one and taking one. So they are sharing people in the cemetery. So the Reverend Father was like, that's a lie. How can God and Satan be negotiating people like that? The security told the Reverend Father that we should follow him to the cemetery. So the Reverend Father obeyed and followed the security personnel to the cemetery. And they didn't want to carry any torchlight. They were afraid. So when they got to the gate, the fence close to the cemetery, Roma was still sharing the oranges. He was not yet done, so he was still saying one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. And then the Reverend Father and the security were paying close attention. And they were amazed, surprised, wondering what God and Satan could be doing in the cemetery. You get. So when Roma and Peter finished sharing the oranges, it was equal. It was just equal the way Roma was sharing it. Luckily for them, they had equal number of oranges in their food bags. So when Roma finished sharing the ones that they took in, Peter now remembered that when Roma and they were trying to jump over the fence, that two oranges fell outside. So Peter was like, what about the two that is outside? He said, what about the two that is outside? When the Reverend Father and the security hit that, what about the two that is outside? They shouted, we are not there, we are not there. They stood up and ran for their dear lives. you know why they ran? They thought, because they thought that it was human beings that God and Satan were sharing. So when they hid the two outside, they thought they were referring to him. The Reverend Father thought they were referring to him and the security. So they ran outside, not knowing that Peter was referring to the two oranges that were outside. So that brings us to the end of today's story. Watch out for the next one. Bye bye.